Hey guys, YouTube family and friends, how y'all doing out there today? This is Darren with Buckner Family Travels, and here in the States, a young man last week was shot by a 84-year-old white man. He was shot and in the head, and then shot in the arm while he was on the ground. He went door to door, and nobody helped him. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that and what some call the American dream is the American nightmare. Anyway, this is Darren with Buckner Family Travels, and if you don't know our channel, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. But what I want you to do before we get anything going is I need you to like, I need you to subscribe, and I need you to share our channel because I want to get the algorithm going. It helps tremendously when we keep the algorithm going, and let's help each other out. I give information. All I ask you for is a like and a subscribe, and we go from there. So take a second, stop what you're doing, press the like button, press subscribe, press the bell notification. By the way, Buckner Family Travels, on this channel, we talk about our move with myself, my wife, and my son. My 13-year-old son is going to be important for this story. And our move to South Africa. We're talking about our journey of how we're going to get there, how we're setting up ourselves for income and whatnot so we can have the money to come to South Africa and have the money to move to the continent and travel around the continent and expose our son to what it's like to, in a sense, not really be black, just be human, unlike America. So anyway, guys, I'm going to show you a video and let me know what you think.
Last night, my nephew was on his way to pick up his brothers from their friend's house a few blocks away from his house. He didn't have his phone, so he wasn't using GPS. He was just going based on the direction that my sister gave him. Unfortunately, he pulled into the driveway of the wrong house, walked up to the door, rang the doorbell. A man opened up the door, looked him in the eye, and said, "Don't ever come back here," as he shot him in the head. My nephew fell down and the man shot him again. He was able to get up and ran to the neighbor, who did not open the door. He ran to 3 houses before one of the neighbors said, "Put your hands up and lay on the ground." And then he laid on the ground like he passed out before the neighbor called the police for help. My nephew is 16 years old. You hear these stories about racism in America and you think, wow, how sad is that? But then you have this little bit of hope because you feel like it's so far away and it would never happen to your family. It would never happen to you. But God, the people in this country are sick. And it is so hard to believe that this amount of hate lives in people. And they hate people based on things that are not even under their control. I cannot believe this is the country that we live in. This is the country. This is America.
So what you think? Pretty tough story to watch. If you don't know, look it up. Look up the name. I'll put a link to some of the stories in the description. But this young man, Mr. Yarl, he was like 16 years old. That's why I said we could relate this. And I have a son, Malcolm, who's 13, and we're talking about the trauma and the what they do here in America. And to kind of, in a sense, keep you in check, whether they're doing it intentionally or not. You know, I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri. I told you guys I'm buying property here because I'm setting myself up for retirement. And my son and my wife are still in Florida right now. And they happen to be in I'll just say a non-black community. And I thought about the fear when an 84-year-old man shoots a young boy for walking up to a door and just getting the wrong address. I mean, when I say this is a simple thing that can happen. As a matter of fact, my wife, she was in New York seeing her father. Maybe that was about 2 months ago. You know, actually, I think it was December. And she knocked on the wrong door because she got dropped off in an Uber, and the streets are very similar. And the Uber driver dropped her off. She goes up because they had the same address as her dad's. It's just a different street. And she knocks on the door, and they said, "You got the wrong house." And so that's what this kid did. He just knocked on the wrong door. This is not the first time this has happened in America. I'm sure it's happened over and over again. But for this 84-year-old man to say he feared, it scared him to see this. You'll see that in the reports, by the way, that it scared him. And, oh, man, he was frightened because, in case you guys didn't know, you've heard us talk about it before. You heard me and Dr. Assad talk about it, and us having sons. In America, just being black is scary. If you black, people scared of you. It just made you 10 feet taller. It made you 100 pounds heavier. It did all that when you here. And it's important that we as a community understand each other, because I want my family in South Africa and my family here in America, I want us to relate and, you know, talk to each other. Because if we don't band together, this type of behavior will continue to happen. If we don't make sure that our families come to some place that is safe, like Africa. And when I say safe, I know everything isn't perfect. Of course you have crime. South Africa, Uganda, even Tanzania. It doesn't matter wherever you go. You're going to have crime. But do you have to die because you're black? Why we got to die because we black? Why a young man got to be afraid to knock on the wrong door? He was just picking up his little twin brothers. And to say he's big, look, if you guys look him up, he ain't big at all. He's not a threat. I'm so glad he didn't die. Thank God he didn't die. But for all my South African family and friends in Tanzania, Kenya, Ghana, and all the people that are rushing over to get to America, let me just put this out there. From my understanding, this family is from Liberia, if I remember correctly. They're from Liberia. And they came to America fleeing whatever it was they were fleeing. That's from my understanding. And then they come to America, and that young lady's video you just saw, her nephew ends up being shot in America by some old white man. I want you to understand, 84 years ago, I'm assuming that was around 1930 something, 1936, 37, who knows? I can't do the math. But of course we had Jim Crow era. That was the Jim Crow era, which was basically America's version of apartheid. And you know, a black man can go to jail, a black boy, I'm talking about a boy, could go to jail for damn near anything. And so when he sees this guy, yeah, he was probably scared for real. And even if he wasn't scared, he felt like he should have the right to do this because he felt like he had no business on his property. He had no business being there. And he probably had no business being in that block or that community, that state, hell, even in this neighborhood, even in America. So, you know, I remember something people used to say when I was younger. I used to hear this a lot. And I heard this from white people. I'll just tell you right now. Go back to Africa. They tell you, you need to just go back to Africa. I'm like, okay, well, they're probably right. So it's important that people in Africa make sure you let African Americans know, let the Europeans in Europe and whatever, France, wherever they are, Germany, let them know that it's okay to come back home. We got to be in agreement. And African Americans, you got to know that it's okay. I know sometimes you hear all these horror stories about Africa because that's all we're taught here in America. And we're not really taught about Africa. We think everybody's living in a hut and swinging on trees and all that. And it's just the furthest thing from the truth. Look, America is no joke, especially for black men, black young men, black old men. It is no joke, and it is violent. It is violent, and we gotta make some changes. So, hey, you guys, let me know. Is this something you guys have to deal with in South Africa? Have you ever heard of anything like that? I know during the apartheid era, yes, absolutely. That's why I'm so glad the brothers and sisters of South Africa won that battle, and I'm so glad that you guys got past that. And I know there's still some leftover remnants of apartheid, and they want to talk about corruption in South Africa. I don't know what could be more corrupt than apartheid, so I I don't even entertain those stories when non-Africans, when I say non-Africans, I'm talking about non-melanated Africans, when they try and bring that up. It's crazy. But let me know your thoughts, and drop in a comment. Make sure you, like I said, like, share, and subscribe, because it's important for the algorithms. We are coming to South Africa, like I said, and our plan is to be there this year. We are in the process. We're putting our paperwork together. We're going to get our medical examinations or whatever else they need from us, from the embassy, and we're going to be coming. So if you guys have any information and you just want to drop comments and just, hey, you give us some inspiration and tell us, different places where we should be thinking about living, I would really love to know that, because we're probably going to have to rent when we first get there until we really, really know the landscape. It's one thing to visit a couple of times, another thing to start living there. And I hear about Sandton all the time. That's pretty much all I hear. But I'll be looking at property 24 or whatever, and I see some other places that are a lot nicer and a lot better price too, and a lot nicer. Like I said, I just want to go to a community though where the people look like me. I don't mind it, being a little mix, but I prefer to be in communities that look like me, and hopefully we can be in a nice community that looks like where the people look like me. When I say nice, a community that's, might be to some a little uppity, but not that I'm uppity, okay? But, I want to make sure it's a safe area and a nice area, so when I come home every day, people's grass is cut, and I like that kind of stuff. I'm just being real. Anyway, guys, like I said, like, subscribe, make sure you share, leave a comment, help the algorithm. And the last thing I'll say is thank you guys. We've gotten to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys, and we're going to keep bringing this up. In the meantime, this is Darren, Buckner Family Travels. Share our video right now. I am out. Peace.